Mike Tirico wins award, and he won a sports Emmy. Do you have a trophy case at your house?
Hi, nice to talk to you too. No, I don't. I don't.
Where do they go?
Um, this was I think I have six now, for various projects and a couple for me. One the were as a host or play by play. One's downstairs, one's up in my office. The third one's on the way, I guess. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. I'm
But,
sorry.
all right.
What?
I mean, it's a humble brag when you go, I think I've won six.
Yeah, I because the counting is weird. Like if you're part of like Sunday Night Football won for best series, so I don't know if that goes on my count or not. Which I think it does, but I don't. Like when they say X number X time, like Costas is like 73-time Emmy Award winner. Bob Costas, like whatever. They're just recognition by your peers that your tape was the best of the tapes that were sent in. Which is really what it is. So it's know what it is, Dan. Honestly, it's you had good moments in the games you covered and you didn't screw them up. That's what it is.
Have you seen Costas his Emmy room?
I've seen it as a back. They use it as a background for a Zoom
Yeah.
at some point. I did see that. I
Yeah.
did see that. Yeah, that's no. We'll never get there,
No.
nor will we have to. No, just kind of dust them off.
How close are the Thunder to being considered a dynasty?
Oh no, not yet. No, 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 no.
Two
no,
titles?
No, 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 no. We fast forward this stuff so much. Let's go back. Like the whole dynasty conversation is almost impossible to hold up to the dynasties that we grew up with: Lakers, Celtics, Steelers, etc., Yankees, because players move. Like the Thunder will come back with a different piece and a different piece, and same for the next team and the next team. Like we got to slow down on this stuff. Look, they've won one title. They're trying to get to the finals for a second time. If they win that, that's a all-time good run. It's not the Celtics. The Celtics and the Lakers, they were just in the finals every year, right? And somebody had to do everything they could to knock them out for a year, like the Sixers did, right? Or so I just think we fast forward this conversation way too much. They're a really, really good team. They have the potential because of what Sam Presti has done to build this organization and the capital they have coming up in the draft and the moves they can make, which are different than everyone else.
Yeah, I think having those players locked in under contract moving forward is key.
Well, those big three in J-Dub, Jalen Williams, and Holmgren and Shea. But now with those first round picks that he has, you can do things like trade a 1 and 3 twos for Jared McCain. Nobody had that capital to go get a second-year player who Philadelphia said, you know what, we can't play three guards with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and McCain, so let's move him while his value is high. And if Sam doesn't make that move, with these injuries they have, maybe they're not 3-2 in this series, right? So those are the ways you can build something that lasts for a long time in an era where that's really hard financially to do because of paying look, you draft well, you have to pay these guys. And then that's a problem. I think of the Lions in the NFL. They've really drafted well the last few years with a bunch of young core players. Now you got to pay them all. And so every time there's another edge rusher out there, Lions fans are like, well, why don't you go get him? Well, you can't. You just don't have enough financial room.
How big of a story is Wemby skipping out on the media? I don't know what happened at the end of the game, Mike, but I don't know if that's a big deal tonight for you guys in leading into Game 6.
It's a watch early in the game, right? You'll watch early in the game. Are there more hard fouls? Is there some message sent? I think, Dan, and you lived so many of these series. Gosh, we sat next to each other during some of the finals runs when we were both working radio and doing Sports Center over the years. Like, you carry a tone to the next game, but it changes just like this. And I think it's different when veterans are the guys who are out there setting that tone. These young guys have a lot going on. They have never, half the San Antonio team, probably 2/3 of their rotation, have never faced an elimination game in the NBA playoffs, right? Think about it. It's the first playoff series for Wemby and Castle and all those guys that we've talked about, Dylan Harper, and even Vassell. They did not face elimination in the first two rounds. They are facing an elimination game. They will walk into the game today with a feeling of pressure of must win that they never have before, except in the NBA Cup in December, where you knew there were tomorrows. Here you don't. So I think it's really hard to have that and be of the mindset of, let's set this hard foul on this guy. So I don't know if it carries over one to the next. Wemby not talking, not the first time, not the last time. Somebody skipped out on the media. Like first timers, before he gets warned, he'll get fined if he does it again. Lesson learned, I would guess.
Talking to Mike Tirico, and he'll be on the call tonight. Game 6, Western Conference Finals, Thunder and Spurs, with Reggie Miller and Jamal Crawford. Tip-off 8:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. I watched a little bit of WNBA action with Caitlin Clark, and I was trying to juxtapose that with the NBA. And it feels like there's more play-on moments in the WNBA than there is the NBA. It feels there's a lot of contact, and it's a lot rougher than what people realize it. But it feels like maybe the NBA needs to have a few more play-on moments. And Reggie Miller talked about this the previous game, where he goes, "That's a play-on. That's not a foul."
Yeah. So let's separate these for a second. The WNBA has had a massive officiating problem over the last couple of years, so much so that, and I'm thin on the details here, but I just heard it discussed on our studio show with Sue Bird and Cheryl Miller, the opening night. They had a committee come together to try to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to do it to be better about their officiating. So I don't want to hold up something that has put their hand up and said, we have a problem, as the example. I do think the physicality of the playoffs is significantly different than the regular season product. And why? Familiarity. We're not walking in January in Salt Lake City and putting up Patrick on the board, likes to go left, right? It's like, oh, okay, great, I'll get there. No, now it's, what angle Dan is at when he wants to try to start going left. And you're playing defense, and now you've learned that opponent. Think of the guy at the gym or the gal at the gym you play against. By game 5 or 6, you know their moves, or even pickleball or tennis. You know what they do well and take it away. That's what happens in playoffs here. So the physicality has to ramp up. And I think there have been more play-ons, but I think now everybody takes every angle and puts it online. Look at this. Here's an example of a foul. Yeah, if you slow down an NFL game, every play looks like a hold or pass interference. So there's a balance. I think that's why the human element of officiating is there. Is it perfect? No. It's also something that you can't look at and you'd say it's a foul, and I'd say it's not a foul. It's just because that contact has to be allowed, in my opinion, at this point in the series. But if you are, I love the football term, if it materially restricts what you do, if my contact keeps you from trying to score or get to the place you want to get to, that should be a foul, period.
Did you grow up a Knicks fan?
I did, yeah.
So you never got to see them win.
I'm old enough. I don't remember all of it, but so Marv Albert was the radio announcer for the Knicks, and they put out a record. That's one of those round things you put on a record player. Yeah. Listen to. For those of you who didn't get the retro trend when it came around a few years ago, they put out a record of the Knicks championship season. And I must have listened to that when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, as I was falling in love with sports and broadcasting. So I remember it, but I can't tell you I saw Willis come out of the tunnel, but I remember what that feeling was like as a Knicks fan at that time.
How do you sum up, describe, encapsulate what's happened with the Knicks this year?
Well, haven't they been given the championship? I've been watching when I watched ESPN the morning after the Knicks won the Eastern Conference Final, and like the stage manager's waving Knicks flags. I'm like, what the heck? Slow down. They have been unbelievable, and we had them 7, 8 times this year. And then we had them after their last playoff loss against Atlanta, and Mike Brown did a terrific job, I thought, of tweaking the offense. Karl Anthony Towns is a point forward. It's unlocked everybody. We rarely see all 5 guys going at the same time, and right now they're all going. I will say the defense that they're about to face from either one of these teams is a massive step up from the defense they saw. Like, did you see any Cleveland Cavalier turn a guard a different way coming up the floor? Like Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, they just had like free reign to come down the floor. So I think it's going to be another step up. But what they're doing is great, and it's really good when a city loves basketball the way New York does, to see that kind of basketball played. What it does remind me of, Dan, is watching and listening to stories about how the 70s Knicks played together, shared the ball, guys had their role and embraced it. And that's why they're a forever team, remembered in New York. And I think this team does that and embodies basketball at its purest, rich best of enjoyment, movement, and teamwork.
I was talking to Vincent Goodwill, great NBA reporter for the Mothership. And I said, you got to win the title. This is New York. And he said, no, this is the Knicks. They're not used to getting here. So he was saying, this is kind of if we get, we're going to get to the finals. Even if we don't win, we've had a successful year. I said, you've had a successful year.
Yes.
But this is a city that is predicated on winning, not getting there.
Correct. I mean, unless you get the parade in the Hero of Canyons, you're not remembered as a forever team. If you do, then you become a special team in the biggest city that has millions and millions of sports followers who revere those guys. Walt Clyde Frazier is revered at 81 years old when you're in Madison Square Garden. I love seeing Clyde. When I see Clyde when we're doing a game and it's a side-by-side, or Clyde happens to be in the building, I want to go say hi because Clyde is still coolest dang guy this side of Joe Namath, right? Those two guys growing up in the 70s in New York, that was the definition of the cool professional athlete. And Clyde still has that in his 80s, and so does Joe anytime you talk to him or you're around him. We've changed. It's a different era, but it's been so long. And I think what's cool about New York for the fans is that those fans, when this team was unwatchable, they went and enjoyed good basketball from the opponents. Games at the Garden always matter to players that walk up that ramp to go into the building. And I think to have the best basketball in the world, the NBA Finals in that building, plus the New York part of it, makes it really cool. It's going to be a great finals. I cannot wait to be off and watch, not shave, and watch Breen and those guys work for a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to the finals.
Will you go to a game?
No. This is whenever this ends, either tonight or Game 7 on Saturday. That's the end of the run that started in September. With Sunday Night Football and then Olympics and Super Bowl and start of the NBA for us at NBC. And so this is the last 365 yards of the marathon. So I am going to go home and chill until the U.S. Open in a couple of weeks and then chill after that. But I will enjoy watching for sure.
Do you have broadcasting superstitions on game day?
No, not really. I have patterns and habits, but it's not like, oh my gosh, if I don't eat a Caesar salad with chicken, this is going to be a bad broadcast. Although with Reggie Miller and Zora Stevenson, we have ordered more Caesars with chicken in NBA arenas than most people over the last 2 months. This has been, I forgot how much fun the NBA is. This has been so much fun. And Reg and Jamal and Zora and Ashley Shamedy, we've had like the greatest time. Like if there's anything I'm rooting for tonight, I'd love to get us to a Game 7 because I'd love to do 2 more days with this group. We've had a blast, and you have Reggie on every week, so everybody knows how fun Reg can be. I mean, 2 weeks on the road with Reg, that really 3.5 weeks has been just all-time fun, and Jamal the same. So it's been great.
I think Jamal's been unbelievable.
He's great. Dan, his stories, his vision, what he sees in the game is really good. And, 3-man booths work or don't work based on a ton of things. These guys are so giving and they talk to each other. We go a couple of possessions and they're going back and forth and back and forth. I'm just sitting there listening to them. Like, there's no reason to get in the way of this. And that starts in the car. It happens at lunch. It continues on the air. And that's when you have something good. So I'm having the greatest time. And shout out to these two cities. Like, they'll be the small market against the big market. But man, like, I have a headache. My ears ring for 30 minutes coming out of the building, and because your headphones are cranked up because you can't hear each other, and this has been so much fun. It's been great.
Before I let you go, the NFL growth here. I know now it feels like we're kicking Sunday 1:00 games to the curb.
Yeah.
But I understand it because I'll watch one game at 1:00. I'll watch a 4:30 game. Occasionally the red zone, but then you watch a standalone game on Sunday and a standalone game on Monday and a standalone game. This is what all of these different partners want. But where do you stand on sort of if you say the fragmentation of what used to be the NFL schedule and where we're headed?
I used to get frustrated. I go back to 40 years ago. I get really frustrated that I couldn't watch the Bengals play at 1 o'clock when they weren't all that good, or even when they were halfway decent. Pick a team, like, because I like football. So, having 4 or 5 games in the 1 o'clock window, still fine. There are weeks it gets thin. There are weeks towards the end it gets thin. I think to avoid it getting thin, what I would suggest is that the league does what the Premier League does. Here's who you're playing December 13th. We're not going to assign starting times or TV networks until like a month out. So we'll know that in those individual windows, there are good games, because bad games in individual windows hurt the product. Good games help. So that would be the best game, but make sure you've got a game of some meaning. And I think the only way to do that from mid-November on is to, Thursday nights, you almost have to assign for travel logistics so people don't get backed up with that. But I would put the week 12, 14, 16 schedule, just like we do the last week of the season. Let's wait, and then we don't have to do it a week before, 3 or 4 weeks before. You're the Sunday night, you're the Monday night, you're the Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. That's the way I think the individual windows can still maintain significance, have a good 4-pack at 1, 3-pack at 4:30, and go from there. Just one guy's opinion. It's like same thing. Nothing's easier to do than tell somebody else how to do their job. So that's what I'm doing.
Congrats again on the Sports Emmy, and
thank you.
Have fun. Good to talk
to you.
Thank you,
pal. Right. Yeah, good talking to you, man. Hit him straight.
Mike Tirico. He's the voice of, he's just the voice. NBC Football Night in America, and basketball, and the Super Bowl, and the Olympics, Kentucky Derby, U.S. Open Championship. He'll be on the call tonight. That'll be Game 6 in San Antonio, 8:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. We'll take a break. Our play of the day is up next.